character when the body switching episode went on, because you did that so fabulously.
Thank you so much. I mean, one, I have an amazing actress to study off of.
Kris,
It's
Holden-Ried.
so true. Who was so generous with me. I would actually go over to Ksenia's house and we would do the scenes together, and we would videotape each other doing our lines. So got to get some of the intonation from that, and then there was a couple of dance moves that I've seen her do over the years, and I just incorporated into my own dance style.
The craziest part about that was when KC and I had to kiss, and I had to be him kissing Kiara, and me and KC would get them to do it like over and over again and see like where does his hand go, like how does he kiss her, how does he look at her, and we would film it and like analyze. So
And it was so funny because I'm taller, so
yeah.
I'm holding Lena in a certain way.
Casey's like here,
And
and
so
I'm like,
Ksenia's reaching up, and she's like, and Casey, of course, is such a dude. He's like, I don't bend like that. It was a lot of fun. It was a great episode for us to do.
Next. Yes, Jerry.
So, what has been your favorite episode?
Well, 209, the one we were just talking about, was definitely up at the top for I think all of us.
Yes, I also have one in season 3 though, that I guess I can't really.
You tell us the number, we'll watch it.
Yeah, that was a good one.
What was the
306.
306.
Again, we're together.
We're together, and it's all, it's me and
Yeah.
Kris going crazy.
Going places you never thought we'd go.
Yeah. Let's just say growling's involved.
Yeah. I also love 205, which was the Brotherhood of the Fae, because we got to see some of Dyson's backstory, and I love bringing the period piece stuff. I really think it blows out the show and really gives it a depth of history and experience. And I hope to see more of that.
Okay.
Question here. Hi, thank you. I'm Anna. Now that you're in the U.S., is there a difference between what is allowed to be shown in terms of censorship and editing?
Oh, no. Actually, I get in trouble for this, apparently. But sci-fi is a minute and a half shorter. So I have to cut a minute and a half out of every show, which is torture. Absolute torture. And sometimes one character loses a few seconds, the other character, sometimes the story changes. But sci-fi has been super supportive. It's an effort every time to keep the exact same story. I don't cut the sexuality, I don't cut any of the things that people are worried about. It's tough to tell the story a minute and a half shorter, but I think we're pulling it off.
All right, is that minute and a half back on the DVDs?
Yeah, that minute and a half's back on the DVD. So the DVD will have, and actually it does make a difference sometimes, but we get the same story out each time.
Next.
Actually.
Yes, you. No, you.
Oh,
Sorry,
wait.
I don't know your name. The
Jim.
woman behind you.
Oh,
Oh, yes. My name's Cherie. Kind of along those lines, Jay, if you had an opportunity to air this on a premium cable channel, what level would you take it to?
We'd be stepping it up. I mean, when we originally started this thing, the rules were tougher than we thought as to what we could do. And it's very funny to say you can only show this much of the top of the butt, and you can only shine.
You have to measure it every time. It's really awkward.
Yeah, and I can see him having to say, Kris going, I got to cover her here when I'm doing this. And
It's strategic arm placement.
yeah, and the girls are doing this, and everybody's watching what they do, and so that makes it that is hard to do. And since it's a very important show that the sexuality gets shown each week, I think we pull it off. But it would be nice if we had a little less restriction.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Great. Yes, sir.
So, Kenzie and Hale, more friends, friends with benefits. There's definitely a chemistry there. Can you give us a
hint of where it's going? I can't, because then I would ruin where it's going.
Yes.
They have a special bond. I think they connect on many levels, and they're there for each other, and they have fun, and they tease each other and challenge each other. As far as where it's going to go and who feels what, I don't know if I can reveal that.
fair?
Good girl, good girl.
I'm getting
Well, I asked them not to
They're
tell
like
too
the
much.
sidekick club. They just kind of, because they both
they have these people that they truly care about and love, and they definitely connect that way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes.
Hi, Christine. I just wanted to know what kind of, in season 3, what are we going to see with the Dark Fae? What kind of sinister characters are we going to have?
We're shaking it a bit up in season 3. You've seen a lot of the light fade world. We're gonna show you a little more of the dark.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Jimmy, how you doing? Now, Ksenia, you are obviously the only one that seems to not have any powers. You're not Fae. A lot of sci-fi shows.
Like in a bad way.
Not at all, no. You're who we follow, of course. And a lot of these sci-fi shows will turn a human character like, let's give him power, let's turn him into something else. Would you want to see her go down that road to somehow suddenly get some Fae powers? Or would you rather stay sort of the human compass?
You know, I think I've had a good taste of like being the human and having to rely on, you know, Kenzie's courage and fearlessness. I feel like that's almost her power at this point. I won't lie, I think it's really exciting, the thought of having a Fae power and being able to play around and kind of, you know, be at par with all my Fae friends and be able to do more stunts and more action in that way by using some sort of Fae power when we're put in these crazy situations where we have to fight. So, you know, yeah, of course I've thought about it and, you know, we'll see.
What would that power be? What would you want?
That's a very good question that I never know how to answer. Something awesome. Like in a perfect world, you know, I feel like Kenzie's power would be used for good if she could like stop a war with a joke. I mean, that'd be pretty nice. So yeah, I'm not sure.
I got begged in one of the interviews here to not let Kenzie ever have a
Yeah, someone was very upset.
Somebody was very upset, almost in, please don't give her a power. You know, and it was that kind of plea. And the response I got is that she is more impressive than anybody sometimes because she has no powers, but she stands around.
I said it best in 209 with, you know, you're weak, you're frail, and the strongest person I know.
Yeah, touching moment, everybody cried.
Love that.
My friend over there?
Adam from Germany. Hi.
Guten Tag.
Good Tag. One of the things that makes Lost Girls are the one-liners, and I'm wondering what Kenzianism is your favorite one, and have you ever come up with one yourself? Like on set, for example?
There's been some ad-libbing. Sometimes it's kept, sometimes it's not kept. You know, if I'm really in the moment, sometimes something comes to mind. I've had so many, and they've all like mixed into one because of how many episodes we've done, but something that stands out and that someone actually reminded me about yesterday was an episode where Anna and I did the speed dating, and Kenzie sits down in front of this unassuming gentleman, and he asks her what her favorite quote about regret is, and she goes, "My favorite literary quote about regret. Let me see. Well, as the great poet Ludacris once said, regret is for suckers, for suckers, for suckers. Regret is for suckers, bitch." And she just thought she was pretty smart in that moment. So that was one of my favorites. It was so fun to film the scenes.
Great.
Yes.
For Dyson, it seems like, and this is a two-part question, with Trick, there seems to be a lot of history with you and Trick. You've obviously known each other for centuries. Is there going to be more revelations of how much you and Trick know, especially about Beau's background? Because obviously Trick knows something that hasn't been revealed yet, obviously, and we're getting really deep into season 2 here. So is that going to be revealed either later in the season or in season 3?
We have talked about this, and we have ideas about more period part of the flashbacks, about where they meet. Because in 205, when we do the Brotherhood of the Wolf, you see Dyson go off, and he's like basically on a line. So we don't know when Trick and him actually started, when he gave his allegiance to Trick. So.
And at the same time, in season 3, we're sort of giving you a couple hints that Trick has chosen Dyson.
And then the second part of that question is, also with the Ash, there seems to be a lot of contention between Dyson and the Ash, even though he's, you know, trying to, you know, do his bidding because he's a light fae, that's the leader of the light fae, but where's the contention? Is that going to be revealed of where the contention is coming from? Because it's obvious that you've known him before.
Well, we're talking about Lachlan, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Dyson just doesn't trust Lachlan. He doesn't think he has Beau's best interests at heart. And you know, in his core, he's a protector. He's that's one of his sort of base sort of character traits, and so he will act aggressively towards anyone he thinks is a threat towards Beau, and wherever you guys are, he still thinks that.
Great.
Hey, Jimmy. Hi. Yeah, Kris. Now, you just said how you're very protective. The character is, and you're light side. You're cursed, of course, to not fall in love with her again. I'm assuming that curse will eventually be lifted. But I'm curious. So, could he be cursed maybe to go dark side, and would you want him to go dark side, where he would be an adversary to Bo?
That would be very interesting. Yeah. You know, we've gotten to explore a lot with Dyson in the last 2 seasons. It's been a pretty dark road for Dyson in season 2, and you know, I think it will either bring him back or we can push him further. And yeah, I mean, I love playing bad guys. It's so fun. So I don't know. It's
It would be
all.
like you in Underworld in Lost Girl.
That's right.
Evil wolf.
Needles in the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be definitely interested in exploring that. That'd be a lot of fun.
Next, yes.
Going to season 3, and you've gone through a lot since then. Are there any other aspects of the character that you wish could be further explored? I'm Christina from Singapore, by the way.
Wow.
What's your backstory?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have such a, you know, the Fae world is so broad, and we pull from so many historical, mythological, folklore things that we have such a vast amount of research material that we can pull from. And I would love to, if we had the time. I mean, Lost Girl takes place in a very sort of isolated, one city, one group of people. I wish we had the time and the budget. Maybe if we do a feature film, we can like blow it out.
We're gonna.
I would love to see us, you know, like travel the world. Like we have these abilities to teleport, and we found some of these Fae. You know, if we could go to Singapore and shoot in Singapore, and that, you know, I would love to bring in more of an international feel to the show, so it doesn't feel so rural and colloquial.
That
Wow,
would
I
be
use
part of
good
the
words.
feature.
I know, I couldn't have said it better
Yeah,
myself.
wow, that's very good, very good.
Great, Cherry?
I was wondering, what are the personality traits of yourselves as normal people that you bring into the characters that you're playing? Did that make sense?
It's a very interesting question.
Obviously a huge Ludacris fan.
Huge Ludacris fan. My whole performance is based on my love for Ludacris.
You know what, though, Ksenia's a massive lover of music, and that definitely was part of Kenzie.
Thank you, Kris. When we started, you know, the show, I always felt like I was like, oh God, how are they going to cast me? Like, I'm so not funny. Like, my entire career, I played very dramatic roles, and I was so, the comedy aspect was like so overwhelming and challenging, and it's just something that I'd never done before. And I didn't know that I had like a sense of humor. Like, I didn't, comedy or laughing or none of that. I mean, obviously I laugh and I love good jokes, but I feel like the more I play Kenzie, the more almost I become her in my own life. And I've realized that I love to laugh and I love to make people laugh, and comedy has kind of become such a huge love of mine. So I think it kind of works both ways. Kenzie gives me that, and I feel like maybe I give Kenzie, you know, a sense of loyalty. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my friends and family, and I cherish them, you know, with every fiber of my being, and I understand, you know, that loyalty. So what she feels for Bo, I feel it, and I can understand it. So I hope that answers the question. Your turn.
My turn. Wow.
He's brooding and sexy in real life. So.
But I'm also a total goofball.
He's a like him as Kenzie in episode 209 was actually the real Kris. And like his real self finally got to come out,
That's
and that's
pretty
why he
true.
was so much fun.
It's, you know, Dyson is. I think what I had to really focus on with Dyson is the fact that he's like a millennia and a half old, and so I really pulled from the more serious sides, of serious parts of myself, which has been nice to focus on. You know, Ksenia's not joking. I am like, I like to have fun, and I'm a bit of a scoundrel sometimes.
You're Kenzie. Like you're
Yeah, I'm Kenzie inside. So yeah, to focus on, you know, to bring out the integrity, you know,